the good side. The World Halal Week 2018, Kuala Lumpur, building from India. One more time, please. On the left-hand side of the camera, good side. And one last side for the right-hand side of the camera. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you to our international guests, the ambassadors, high commissioners, delegates, speakers, the Deputy Prime Minister in the middle, with everybody flanking him left and right. Deputy Minister from the Republic of the Philippines. The Deputy Prime Minister will now proceed for lunch. Once again, guests with special invitation, please proceed for lunch next door. All the other guests, lunch is served before you. Please show your invitation cards when you enter the door. Thank you. Please remember, 2:30 p.m. is the next round of conference.
And how the challenges are, but also the opportunities. So we have a young organization. We have approximately 1,000 people directly working for me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent them today. So I'm speaking on behalf of our 1,000 employees directly here. 99.99% of them are Malaysians. I am the 0.0001. And we have a very young organization. The average age of our organization is 32. So I take the average up a little, but I'm not far away from the 32 mark. And we're really excited. Sven here mentioned about the consumer changes and challenges, and they're moving. Life has changed from 10 years ago. Consumer demands are different. Their access to information is different. Technology is disrupting everything they do and also everything we do. So I'm blessed that I have an organization 32 years old looking for new opportunities, looking for new categories to go into. And I think we're positioned well, not only for Malaysia, but for the region. We'll talk quickly about, we have the slides up there? Yes, it's over there, but it's not there. We go. Okay, so I'll talk about a lot of value, right? But I think what is more important for me is to make you understand that today in Malaysia is a country with over 30 million people, 50 million consumers, 50% of the Malaysian basically population every day consumes a Nestle product. And out of the 50 million, Milo is 8 million. That's a huge basically perception of trust in our company. We started our halal journey many years ago. I'll talk about it in a minute. Today we are marketing more than 500 halal products. We're selling around the world. It's a big business for us. And it's a very successful business. Let me go to the next slide. So this is the halal journey. And I also have to say,
I'm very, very privileged because I have a tremendous team around me, and I want to give a big thank you to Sheikh Othman Yusuf, who is actually not only the halal expert in Nestle, he's the global halal expert, but he has been very, very conducive for the development of the halal industry in Malaysia. So thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. So all the technical questions, later on, please begin. So we started in the 70s, and we were all along halal certified, but then we worked very closely together with all the relevant Islamic boards, and already before Chucking basically was found, we basically formed our own halal committee. So our halal committee was formed in the 80s, and this is a long time ago. And then the first halal policy, and I'll be talking about it later, was established in 1992. That was a formal document. And then together with Chucking in 1994, we became halal certified according to the Chucking standard. And I have to say this was a watershed, this was really a threshold for the company. And this is what Malaysia, and I've been at that time already in Nestle, outside of Malaysia, what Malaysia has done extremely well. I was in China at the time, and you know, we wanted to get our facility halal certified, and it wasn't so sure what standards to follow. And Malaysia was a role model because they really put a very systematic standard in place, and this really helped later on to establish you know, the Malaysian halal standards as the gold, I call it the gold standards around the world. Then we issued for all the Nestle companies, and this is a lot of companies, very stringent halal quality standards, I would call them, in the Nestle world, to become also our vendors. So this is a big one, because when we started our halal policies years ago, believe it or not, we had to import a lot of the raw materials from overseas. Today, more and more of these raw and packaging materials are, thanks God, to these training programs, the support of the government, also the entrepreneurship of Malaysians are produced locally. And once again, I'm sure there's a lot of entrepreneurs in the room. There's plenty of room for our company, and I'm sure for all the other companies, to become a supplier, get halal certified, understand the operations, and we are more than happy to take you on board. One question I always ask, and this is more asked by people outside our region, is halal hindering you, or is it an issue not to innovate? And I tell them it's not an issue at all. We are, and this is an interesting one, in the Nestle world, one of the most innovative companies in the Nestle world and in the region. Every year, more than 10% of our products are new products, innovative products, all fully halal certified. And innovation including halal, is a real growth engine for our company. Oops. No. Yeah. And I think this is, and I'm almost at the end, This is now one thing I really would like to put to you. We started this e-commerce journey around 3-4 years ago, I have to say. We started to take it seriously.
Nestle has been touching the hearts and minds of Malaysians and Singaporeans, whenever, wherever, however. Malaysia and Singapore are two of Asia's most promising regions. Their steady, sustainable growth makes them attractive investment destinations. The larger territory of Malaysia remains resilient due to the National Transformation Program and the establishment of the country as a premier halal hub. Consumer eating and shopping habits are evolving too. In a world defined by busy lifestyles, increasing mobility, the rise of e-commerce, and the need to buy on a convenient as-need basis, there is demand and opportunity for new and innovative formats. Proving to be a leader in innovation, Nestle Malaysia launched the first Kit Kat chocolaterie in Southeast Asia, as well as the Wellness Together Gather campaign, its first e-commerce campaign. Nestle Malaysia and Singapore take the lead as frontrunners in the food and beverage industry. As one of the premier listed companies in the country, Nestle Malaysia has a market capitalization of over 20 billion ringgit, giving it an overall market share that's over 2 times larger than its nearest contender. Nestle continues to hold strong trust, favour and respect with Malaysians and Singaporeans through tastier and healthier food, supported by engaging activities that encourage active lifestyles. Such as the Lebih Kebaikan Lebih Nilai promotion, where 2.2 million Malaysians registered their pledges to get healthy with Nestle. Of equal impact, Malaysians from all walks of life take part in the Milo Malaysia Breakfast Day, which emphasizes the importance of breakfast to the masses. Milo has also made an impact in Singapore with the launch of the Milo Discovery Tour, which showcases a fun and educational journey for students to learn how Singapore's favorite malt beverage is manufactured. This platform allows students to understand and experience the importance of breakfast and physical activities through engaging and interactive activities. In addition, Nestle Omega Plus Walk a Mile has been encouraging Malaysians to walk towards healthier hearts for over 15 years. Riding on the rising awareness of nutrition, health and wellness, Nestle has enjoyed impressive profitable growth throughout the years. In 2016, Nestle Malaysia and Singapore marked a milestone by crossing the threshold of 6 billion ringgit in revenue. Today, with 10 factories, over 7,000 direct employees across the region, and having invested over 1.3 billion ringgit in manufacturing capabilities in Malaysia and Singapore over the years, Nestle holds formidable scale and stature with leadership in no less than 12 different categories. It's a history of success and growth that spans over 100 years, and we believe the best is yet to come. With new frontiers opening up, no one is better placed than Nestle to capture this opportunity. Nestle Malaysia and Singapore are set to take on new challenges. We're poised to embed an even stronger nutrition, health and wellness footprint towards our purpose of enhancing the quality of life and contributing to a healthier future in Malaysia and Singapore. Let growth unfold for generations to come.
Because we are a company of farmers. So just to give you a bit of a background about, because not everybody knows about the company, 12 million euro globally, it's a cooperative. We've got about 24,000 employees globally within the company, but what's more important is almost 60% of that, we are member dairy farmers. So we have farmers in Holland, Belgium and Germany, but we've got farmers globally. We've got farmers in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and that's I think our purpose as well, to build the whole backward to frontward integration. If I may talk about the purpose, and I think that's where the halal comes in, because there is a purpose behind whatever we do. I was told, and I was learning, like Gareth also said, that understanding the halal, and I truly understood the purpose of halal in Nigeria when I was interacting with the halal community there. And there's a very strong element to it, which is halal toiba. And when you go deeper into it, it's about doing good. When you go deeper into it, it's giving the best. It's just not about the quality or the process, but it's bigger than that. How does it add value to the community? How do you do good to the community and do it good for the future? And I think that's where, probably because as a company, we are a farmer company, which is not only about today, but it's also about the generation, forms of purpose, nourishing by nature. Everything is about building nature. Building the future, leveraging the nature. And we've got better nutrition for the world, better nutrition for the generations to come. Food security is a big challenge, and some of us living in developing or developed countries, we don't see as much. But when you go to the emerging markets, food security is a huge challenge. And how can we nourish those consumers, those people through nature? The second important part is also about good living for our farmers. Globally, till 2001, the average age of a farmer was 51 years of age. Today, the average age globally of a farmer is 59 years of age, which makes it very simple that the generation is growing older and the new generation is not coming in. And that's because, and I think that's a changing trend as well, there are better opportunities, whether from digitalization, industrialization, urbanization. It is not a very, very lucrative sector. So one, we being as farmers, but also how do we build that globally for the other country? And last but not the least, it's about sustainable growth. It's about us now. It's about generations to come.
Every year, it is a huge number. We are procuring close to 50 billion here in Malaysia, not only for Malaysia, but for the whole world. And when you go there, and this actually deserves an applause. But when you go there, you have all these young people, and they are, I think you said about 30 years old. I think they're even younger. I have no idea what you're doing. They're all sitting in front of all these screens, etc., etc., etc. And you can really see the future. You see the future where Malaysia has moved from just basically being a low-cost producer or having a niche to become really a global center of expertise, and it's fascinating for me. So it's not about basically staying back, it's about riding the wave and being ahead of all that one. And I think we should be optimistic because yes, the world will not be the same as it has been. We will all be in a very uncomfortable place, but I personally believe if we do it right, we are moving to a better place. We are moving to a place where we have higher incomes, where we have more exciting jobs. And these people, they don't only procure for the region or for Malaysia, they procure for the whole globe. How exciting is that? Just to give an answer on a practical term, right? Yeah.
Maybe I want to add another perspective to what does this transformation means of younger generation, because I feel it also requires a change of what employers have to offer. We have been growing significantly over the last years because of some investments. So this year we are probably looking at hiring about 150, 170 people. So what we recognize is that
So what we try doing there is that we try bringing the best practices in terms of taking care of the animals. How do you deal with the animals? How do you take care of them? What is the best way to, let's say, from their feeds to their the medication to the taking care of the animals' welfare. So we train them there because they are not our farmers. We do a dairy development program. They are not part of the Dutch lady or Fresno Campina family, but they are our partner farmers. So we continuously keep training them. That's why twice a year we bring the best experts in the world. We have sessions. The next one is happening in April, in 2 weeks from now. So that's our first step here. We've got about 300 of those farmers, and we're continuously training them. We do not have joint farmers there, but if that answers your question in terms of how do we ensure that the best technology and the best knowledge transfer happens to them. Does that answer your question?
Partially. Not full yet. Which part is missing now? Anyone else?
Mr. Yusuf is our global halal expert. He goes around the world and helps Nestle companies to be halal certified. But what is much more important than just ourselves, and we talk about end-to-end, we also visit our suppliers around the world, everywhere, from China to France to wherever they come from, and we will make sure that they fully adhere to Chakib Halal Malaysia standards. So if you are in Sri Lanka, and I don't know what kind of business you're in, and you want to become a supplier of ours, we will actually audit you on 2 dimensions. Obviously the normal quality audits, which are the standards you have to fulfill, And the second one would be a halal audit. And this would be done in conjunction with Jackie. So that's the way you can establish yourself as a supplier to us. I suppose it will be very much the same for the other companies. Thank you for asking the question. So you want to become a supplier to us? Please do so.
So technically what you're saying, Alois, is that the second part of your audit has
that what halal stands for. And what I'm seeing now is more and more countries that may not be halal or may not have any religious affiliation with halal are actually seeking more halal products and formulations, and let's call it recipes. So what's actually happening in the Coca-Cola world globally is they're recognizing 1.8 million consumers. They're 1.8 billion. They're recognizing more and more coming. They're recognizing if we're to appeal to consumer taste, regardless of ethnic group, regardless of religion, we need to move into this direction. So I don't have a definitive answer, but I can tell you that the company is becoming more aware, more educated, and we're doing our part to raise the awareness to try and get more and more consumer beverages for not only for Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, but for the larger region. So work to be done, but definitely we're moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Brand. And then Alois also mentioned that the halal standard in Malaysia is kind of like a gold standard. So my question to you is that how can we make the Malaysian Jakim halal brand shinier? You know, even though it's a gold standard, shinier, perhaps the Coca-Cola way. Over to you.
Oh, it's a marketing question, not Jesus.
definitely a marketer.
But I did handle my task. I think
Because that's when the education happens. So that's why I say the transfer of knowledge by practice. So like ourselves, Alois mentioned, the more and more we are also able to expand the footprint in terms of our exports to the other markets, the understanding of the Jakim Halal, the process and the principles behind start getting more and more understood. And I think that's important. That's where the partnership along with the government, along with the Jakim and the industry, and that's a public-private partnership, is going to make a difference.
Okay, my name is Julian from the Islamic Development Bank. I would like to raise the issue of the higher objective of Sharia compliance. As we look into the financial services industry, for example, Bank Negara has issued guidance in terms of not just Sharia compliance, but making it higher, achieving higher objectives. So, in particular, my question to the others, because Coca-Cola and McDonald's in Malaysia have been associated with supporting,
we operate in over 200 countries, and we don't discriminate based on ethnicity, religion, or any sort of political affiliation. In Palestine, for example, we have a bottler there, which is the same as me. 100% staff are Palestinian. We have 2 production facilities, and one is actually in Gaza, and it's the 4th largest employer in Palestine. So yeah, I just want to make the point that we don't support any country, any government, or any religious group. So I want to make that very clear, and thank you for asking the question, because Palestine is one of our very strong businesses, and often we do some rotation. So we had one of the staff from Palestine over with us for 6 months on the job rotation, and we will send some of our people over to Palestine as well. So thank you for allowing me to clarify that. Thank you.
Yes. No, Joseph. I think.
I represent Property Halal Consultancy. My question goes to all the panelists. What is your concern about cross-country products? The product that move from another country to another country. Because I'm aware this happens, either by trade or by taking it along to another country. Meanwhile, some of these products, they are not certified, halal certified. Like my country now, there is increasing awareness about halal in Nigeria. In 2016, the product was exported to Australia and it was returned to Nigeria because of halal, because it was not halal certified. So they had to start looking for local halal certification bodies. So what is your concern about cross-country products, either knowingly or unknowingly? Maybe either they know or they don't know. And what are you doing about it?
Okay, thanks for that. I mean, when I hear Nigeria, I go back to my first love. So, you're right. The awareness of halal in Nigeria is growing by the day. And I think you know the brand Peak Milk in Nigeria. So we are also working with the government and as well also with the authorities of saying how do we do that. Specifically with respect to this export, I think it has to follow at this stage the law of the land. So if there has to be something that has to be, let's say, imported into Malaysia, it has to follow the law of the land, which means that if a company wants to export something from Nigeria into Malaysia, it has to follow the Jakim Halal accreditation should happen. So that goes without saying that the law of the land.
To you, what would be the new strategies for Malaysian government or MIDA in particular to attract new companies, new MNCs to come to Malaysia, leveraging on halal? Thank you.
All right. Maybe you want to keep it very short. We just go around. Sven, maybe you want to start first?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the support which also BSF Petronas is enjoying here. For us, we consider not only Malaysia, but I said this before, ASEAN or Southeast Asia is our home market. So we have a strong orientation also to export, and we feel very comfortable with the support which we get. And this, I think, is also true for halal. I think with what we heard before, that the brand of Jakim is strongly recognized, of course, also helps us to serve customers outside of Malaysia with halal requirements. And particularly from South Asia, we see an increasing request for halal certified products.
Something else.
Alright, thank you.